Hello troops, we are back again with episode 2 of Strictly Off the Record.
So, what a podcast. You know, we've got Shugz on, one of our good friends in the scene, and what can we say? Absolutely
unreal. To have, obviously we've been friends with him for like almost 10 years and we know everything about him, but to be able to speak about it all and talk about the memories we have had and the people he's helped in the scene as well in Belfast.
And this was his first podcast as well. This was his first one, so it was like we wanted to make sure we had him on for this one.
We covered all sorts of topics, talked about himself, him coming into the scene,
the struggles he's had in the scene as well, most
which
importantly.
Is fair play to him as well. So
he's a fucking grafter.
Yeah, and we also sneaked his brother in for some funny stories.
Near the end, we brought his brother Hugh in. He's done a lot for us in the scene as well, and we brought him in the last 15 minutes to tell a few funny stories as growing up as a kid and what it's like having him as a wee brother. So it really gives you an insight on what Shugz was like growing up and how he is where he is now in his career.
And just shows you all around what a guy is really as well.
It does. You'll really enjoy this one.
Yeah,
because we did.
Big ups to, we're using this amazing space. You might have watched the first episode and we were in the studio of Belfast DJ Studio, but we're actually in the social club now, and what a space it is. Far more space for our guests, and we love it. Yeah,
big ups to Frey for giving us a hand in Belfast DJ Studio. We wouldn't be able to do this without him, so thank you. And
if anyone is looking to book it for mixes, studio, or just a social club, you can go and check it on Belfast DJ Studios Facebook, Instagram. They've got TikTok and they've got a website where you can actually book it. So go and check it out, and we'll go into the podcast. Let's go.
What's happening, my friend?
What's happening, lads?
It's been absolutely lethal, mate. I was just going to say, we've wanted you on this first guest, and we couldn't think of anyone better to have on.
I've never done one before, and I've always said that it would need to be one for a bit of crack. I don't think I could do one with two other lads.
I think it's better.
Get ready.
Especially if you've never done one. Do you know what I mean? It's not comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
It's just, I've always had the opinion, like, obviously you can sit and talk with mates and all, but see, if you're a guest on a podcast with people you don't necessarily know, it's all going to be about you. It's all going to be questions about you and like not that we like talking about that shit, but
when did it first start? Where did you?
No, it's all about you. You know what I mean? It's all fucking. It's a bit egotistical, I feel. For me, sometimes talking about myself, especially for like an hour, but.
We're just sitting having a chat, and just on the mates thing, I don't think people watching actually knows how far we all go back, how close we are as mates, which is mental.
Like, for years.
We must be going on. I remember having a Snapchat, and we were sitting in your studio 2019, so that's like 6 years ago.
And we probably knew you like 3
way before that, before we started doing.
So if anyone does know,
we
have used Shugz a long time, so do not expect this to be serious.
It'll be strictly off the record. Literally.
Yes, but what's been happening anyway? Obviously, we've seen my few last couple of days. What's been the crack? You know what I mean?
Same old stuff, lads. You know the grind, like. Just getting tunes ready. Changed the sound up a bit of late, as you know.
And a
bit of a
transition. Got a couple of things going on, like.
We had a couple dipping the toes in a couple of different styles. Just getting a bit bored doing the same thing. And you know how much I work in the studio on music, so it's just trying to branch out a wee bit, doing a wee bit more of the hard housey stuff. Obviously still doing the commercial side, a couple of bits of trance still there, and then I've started doing some UKG stuff too, so just trying to start the tunes, lads.
It's a complete sort of difference in music perspective than what you started off making. You're making the more tacky or hard stuff, and now you're just sort of going down a path where you're enjoying it, and that actually just making stuff to what's relevant, you know what I mean?
Still doing the stuff I'm known for, like, still some of them coming, but I feel now, reason why making so many different styles is that the whole scene is blew wide open.
The
DJs are playing everything. You'll go and see DJs playing, and they will play UKG, they'll be playing Speed Garage, they'll be playing house music, they'll be playing Eurodance, Eurotrance, hard trance. Everything's just all mixed up.
It's the era as well you were brought up in, like it was like a perception on artists, like, right, if he's known as a trance DJ, he needs to play trance, or if he's known as a techno DJ, he needs to play techno. Where now, it's like you say, it's just opened up for everyone to be able to do.
Sharpening their tools as well, like, from a user perspective, like, if you're going to make all different genres, like when it comes to making your own sound, what you want to release as an artist, you're going to be so much more advanced for what you're making. You know?
The two most important things I've always said for learning and getting better is collaborating with people and making different styles.
Yeah.
Because if you're making different styles of music, you'll notice, like, even when it comes down just the rhythms of some stuff, like bass lines
Yeah.
and Euro dancey stuff, it's not like an offbeat. So you by doing different rhythms, you'll apply more grooves in your track. When you're doing that there with different styles, you have to approach every process differently, because you're not going to produce any kind of tracks the way you would produce a trance track.
Yeah.
So by doing that, you're learning on the fly on how more rhythms work with this style, and then eventually you can combine all that together.
Yeah, and that's
So
how something stands out, isn't it?
every single style of music, most styles of music are all made in different ways, different techniques. So if you're constantly trying different styles and learning how to make different stuff, you're learning all this before of information, and then you can bring it all together. Do you know what I mean?
With like a techno or UK feed or
100%.
you know what I mean? It's going to give that different taste.
Yeah, it's a way to do it. Like, always test yourself, always push yourself as much as you can, creatively, and don't just get comfortable either. Like, it's nothing worse.
Yeah.
I could never ever, like, it's one of my biggest fears, like, of being known for just one thing forever, like one style, and just having to, even though, like, the way that I am, always want to experiment, to go into the studio and I have to make this style, to do this or to further my career or do that. Or I would hate that. Like, you would become a point in your career where you'll actually start to dislike it, because it would be just too the same. Do you know what I mean?
That's almost how the scene was, though.
Yeah,
Because back then it was like, you know, you need to be known for sticking to what you're doing, instead of just going, right, fuck it.
Mate, the
So
trance,
we'll go in the studio and go, right, what are we making today?
Exactly.
Want to make a bit of garage, want to make a bit of house, want to make a bit of techno, just have a bit of fun and then see where you
Exactly.
go.
Like doing that, do you know what I mean? It's going to make you stand out. And you're right, it used to be like, oh, I want to be a techno DJ or I want to be a trance DJ. Now it's like, I just want to be a DJ and like make anything, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything's so open, as you said.
yeah,
So
the fans as well, but the fans and obviously the DJs are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Open-minded, mate, and like, it would have been amazing to have this. I'm not going to say that I was ever limited when I started out. Like, this is my 10th year professionally. Like, I started, my first big gig was Luminosity. No, ninth year. 2016 Luminosity was my first gig when I signed with my agency. It was 9 years ago.
yeah.
So for, like, know what I mean, more than half of my career, I was making the same kind of style, and the same like the trance scene was very niche, like it was for the styles, and there wasn't very any experimental stuff coming. So I was making the same kind of thing for years.
Yeah.
So now the way I'm more excited now making music than I've ever been.
Yeah.
And like, and back then I was just a young pup. I mean, the age of usings back then.
Yeah.
Or you get more hunger back then because it was all new to me then. But now, just the way the scene is,
But then again, like, you can look at it and go, whenever you started, like, whenever you grew up, you loved trance and you wanted to be a trance DJ.
of course, mate, still do. Like,
It's like now, it's like, it almost back then, it was, you just couldn't do it, or you would have slated it all in.
it wouldn't have been that. You just wouldn't have got. It wouldn't have worked, mate.
Well, now everyone's doing it more. It looks a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More
It works now.
Yeah.
Having loads of different styles of music and playing loads of different styles of music, it works. The fans love it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People are well more open-minded, as I said there, and the DJs. So back then, if you were doing stuff like that, like, it just wouldn't. You would never be able to play it. It never would have been appreciated on the dance floor. So it wouldn't have been any point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Experimenting and playing stuff that you wouldn't have been able to play in your sets, because back then, obviously now, you know, the industry, it's so competitive. But back then, in the trance scene, it was so niche. Everybody was against each other in a way.
Yeah.
So you had to be at the top of your game all the time with the style that you were making. That was always my opinion
Back then,
anyway.
did you want to make other stuff? But
Of course, man, I've always loved, loved different kinds of music. Always.
Yeah.
I've just never, as a producer, tried to make anything different, because it was always just set my ways and doing that.
Yeah.
Like, very rarely even listened to trance. Do you know what I mean? When years ago as well.
Getting
Made trance all the
inspiration
time,
off
play gigs every weekend. The last thing I want to be doing now is just sitting and listening to trance sets. Do you know what I mean? So it was always
And
explained.
we talked about it the last podcast, is like, as an artist, when you take risks and you implement different sounds from different genres, and like,
Putting
for
that
example,
on
if
the
VK,
clip out, isn't it?
whenever he put that album out, it was a country album, Wake Me Up, and like, it completely blew him up, do you know what I mean? And that's what, he done that by taking a risk.
It's having that wee bit of balls one day and have that tune sitting there and go, I'm going to put a clip of this out here.
Yeah.
It's nothing like I've really made before. It goes off.
Yeah.
Confidence is through
And
the
you're
roof
putting
then,
it
you know what I
because you
mean?
like it.
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
say one thing.
That's what it has to be.
You said about having the balls. Shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm not going to put this out. Are people going to like this or people going to dislike this? Put it out the fuck.
I know,
It's
but
your
in the
tune, you know
grand,
what I mean?
in the grand
I know what you
scheme,
mean,
most
yeah.
producers and most people
Yeah.
is going to feel like that
Yeah.
because of how social media is.
Of course, yeah. But that's the thing, like, users are obviously, 10 years younger than me, like. So, like, users are, by the way, smashing it on socials. These are one of the most, I've said this to you loads,
Yeah.
the most active guys, like, always doing cool content. So, yes, for usings, that would be more what you would think. I just don't give a fuck. Like when I'm making stuff, you know what I mean? I don't have. I really have. No, I don't mean like that. I don't mean like that. I mean,
HR as well. We go with one of us making it.
Yeah.
We're both doing it.
It just doesn't cross my mind. It's like if I like this, I'll put it out. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe I should sometimes have that mentality.
Yeah.
Where like I maybe do a wee bit more work on it and all and get it ready. I'm really bad for just pulling the trigger on something like and just sticking it out.
Yeah.
And then I could go back and see a video or listen to a tune. Like I did so much. Like maybe last year I spent a few days on that.
Yeah.
It could have been different. See when I finish a tune, I just finish it, master it, and it's out. Start
Yeah.
playing it, and then I'll never go back to it because like I was actually checking this morning when I was putting tunes on for this wee mix we're doing after.
Yeah.
From 2024, from the first month last year till now, and what is it, 14 months, I've made 57 tracks. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I always
So
say? You're the only cunt I know that can sit in the studio for 7 days straight, no food, no water, doesn't even go for a piss.
Come on, you raw dogs. You raw dogs.
Raw dogs.
Raw dogs in the studio for a
You
week.
come in, you walk in the studio with beer.
We went up 7 a.m. on Monday. It was great. Don't imagine me away for a week. We told me next door. And actually,
Lock the door.
that's why you know
He packs a
every
suitcase.
time we get in the studio, we go on.
He'll packs a suitcase full of food and beers for a week in the studio.
But I just don't.
Comes in between
Like,
albums.
that's just an example of your dedication to what you do. And like, if anyone watching doesn't really, Shugz has done a lot for us.
Yeah,
Taught us how to make music, and people outside of us as well. You
Yeah.
mentioned a handful of DJs and producers from this country who this guy has taught how to make music.
you're doing
So,
extremely.
and they're doing really well. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's all down to your dedication, but it's also your teaching method as well.
Yeah.
And what I realised when we went over, together, it was like everything was explained in a way where it was understandable for people.
Yeah.
And it's
Most
not,
important
you know,
thing.
it's
Most
not,
important thing.
you can't get overwhelmed looking at,
Yeah.
and you button their first time, you're going, this is like trying to learn maths myself.
Yeah.
Or like get in their car for a time, learn how to drink.
Yeah. See the analogy I
As
always
you
tell
go on, you
people.
break it down.
DAW, it's an instrument, right? You can't pick up a guitar and just rock it on the wall, right? You have to learn how to use the instrument, which is the DAW, right? But see when you open Ableton for the first time, even when I done it for the first time using, you know, I'm like, all these effects, all this here and all. I don't know where to start here. See my process to make music, professional producer, I would say for what, 10 years? I probably use about 40% of Ableton of everything you can use.
Do.
Out of everything available,
Exactly.
about 40%. It's about getting what works for you, right? The process of what works for you, in regards to how you're going to make music, how to get the best out of your creativity, and also being as productive as possible. What people tend to do, mate, some people, is they want to learn every single thing, every instance of the fucking DAW, right? They want to learn every effect, they read the manual 3 times, you're just wasting time,
I know.
right? Start loading in loops, start just playing around.
Yeah.
Like the most important thing, you can be the most technical producer in the world, right? But see if you don't have a good ear for a good tune,
A good
your
idea.
music's gonna fucking suck, like. And that's just it.
It needs to be good.
Your music might
ideas,
sound
too.
super clean and it might have
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this amazing compression
down.
and the mix down's immense, but your fucking lead sucks, your melody's terrible, the vocals absolutely dog shit. Do you know what I mean?
I know,
So
it's
like,
so true, but
yeah,
like it's
just jump
sad
in.
as well because there is so many talented producers out there that could do so well, but that maybe their ideas or their content or it just isn't there. And
There's like two sides of it. There's people out there who be really, really good at technical, but their creativity isn't great. Where other people, their creativity is
Yeah.
brilliant, but they're not good at the
Yeah.
technical stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like trying to find that balance
100%.
in between, you know.
And the thing is, these days too, you don't even need to be like a you don't even in general, not even these days. The best tunes that you'll ever hear, the top tunes ever, are all the simplest melodies and the simplest ideas.
And the stories behind the artists is always like, I made it in a couple of
Oh,
hours.
it's always, and that's the thing as well. See, like, you know yourselves when you're making a tune, you know, like, fuck, maybe 4 hours on it. This is a belter.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
and then there'll be ones yourself. Do
Mm.
you know what I mean? But you know in them first 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all about getting to the level that you would be at and I would be at to recognise that.
Yeah.
Where you aren't going to be sitting there going, scrolling through hi-hats, scrolling through vocals,
Exactly, yeah,
scrolling
yeah,
through,
yeah.
like, just to always do, one thing that used to help me when I was younger was set timers, right? So get a timer, I have 2 screens, so put a timer, a stopwatch on the top one or a timer, 1 hour, right? So 5 hours, so in those 5 hours you have to dedicate each hour to something different, right? So 1 hour would be your kick, bass and perk. And then see when the hour's finished, no matter where you are with that kick, bass and perk, move on to write the melody. Then do that for an hour.
Yeah.
Write 3 melodies in an hour. then go back to them, listen to them, pick the best one, right? Right, and then move on to something else. See, by the end of those 5 hours, because you're rushing, right? You know that clock's clicking. You're going to be
That's
constantly.
all the elements for the
You're
track.
constantly working on a timer, which means you're not going to sit over anything. You're not going to go through hi-hats. You're just going to that'll work.
Yeah,
So what
it's
you'll do
almost
is
like that little bit of pressure.
you'll have 60% of the tune done in 5 hours,
Yeah.
and then you can go back and
It's just
finish it
switching
and
up
tidy,
your
swap
brain
stuff out.
overnight.
But you will get an idea, a song started down in 5 hours. Every single part will be done. Arrangement, melody, kick, bass, whatever. You'll have all that down and ready to go. And then the next day you can spend 5-6 hours on tidying that up.
Yeah.
And then it'll be done the day after that.
That's
Do
it.
you know what I mean? It's all about knowing how to just get the best out of your
And
time.
the more you
Yeah.
do that, the more you're going to get better, and the more in those 5 hours you're going to make better sounds as
Of
well.
course.
It's
Like,
practice, you know what I mean?
you need to just do everything as well. Like, that's one thing I always remember saying to users. Practice everything. Don't just always do loads of kick and basses and loads of, because what you'll find is that'll be amazing and then the rest of your tune will be shit.
Yeah.
And then you'll get frustrated because you'll get an idea going of something that you know you're good at, and then you'll get stuck because that part's done and you don't know where to go for it, and then you just get frustration. So
Yeah.
even like any like young producers who are starting out watching this, just get into the habit of finishing your tunes. No matter how much you hate them, no matter how shit you think they sound, get into the habit of finishing them, because if you get into the habit of finishing them, that 1% each time, you're applying that to everything. So everything levels up 1% each time, and you eventually everything gets better at the same time. So then you'll be able to make intermediate tracks that all sound intermediate. Then when you do eventually start making professional tracks, it's going to sound clean.
Yeah.
Instead of dedicating your time to specific parts all the time and then shelving it and starting
Yeah,
somewhere
That's
else.
exactly what helped us as well. Like, see, when at the start when we were finishing tracks, like we would maybe recycle a couple of elements that you wouldn't or weren't the main elements in the track,
Yeah.
but we were just putting them into the next track, and it was helping us get the track finished quicker.
Mhm.
And then we could focus more on the actual main elements,
Yeah.
which was getting us better at producing as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we do as well. Like you just said, like if you feel like you can't finish a track or you can't come up with a certain element of tune, just move on and come up with
Yeah.
try a different
Yeah,
technique.
whenever
you
we
know what I
started,
mean?
we were almost like, right, we'll have this idea. We were like this for years, you know, need to get this finished before we move on. And it was like,
No.
it's not the case. It's
Definitely not.
you need to fucking make something new. And then maybe that thing you've made in the next track will work in the previous
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
And it's just like building up a
Yeah.
full catalogue
Yeah.
of sounds and ideas and
Yeah.
everything that just builds up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just
definitely
going back, whenever we were going over to you for production lessons and you were giving us a bit of a ham and stuff, and one day we were sitting down and you just says, right lads, that's it. And not
Aye.
there's any more. And me and him walked out shitting ourselves because we were like, fuck, what do we do now? But
Yeah.
it was the best thing you ever
The
could have done
best
because it
thing.
was just a case of us, right, going, right, we need to put our
I
big
know.
boy socks up here and just go for it here, you know what I mean?
That was about 6-7 years ago.
Oh,
That's a long
Okay.
time.
But the thing was that there, like, it got to a point with users that everything that I could have taught you to apply to your craft is that you were applying it.
Yeah, yeah.
Users were coming, these guys were coming to my studio every week. Once a week we were doing like.
Cost us a fortune too.
You're doing a session once a week. You
Thank you, lads.
have a naive over.
Yeah, the chair says thanks.
She's
No, but let me finish what I'm saying there.
Yes.
Every week you were coming, you were improving significantly every week.
Mhm.
And when I had started to recognise and realise that not that just weren't improving, but everything that I could teach us for to get you on your way is hard.
Yeah.
I would have been discrediting the service because I would have been just showing you shit for the sake of it and taking your money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That wouldn't have sat right with me. Like I could have kept you on fucking and
Still could have
Ah,
Wouldn't it be like fucking
I
different?
know, but the thing, it doesn't agree with me morally. Like
I know.
Yeah.
and that was the reason why you were ready to go. I felt that you had to go and do your own thing. And look, I just look what you've done for me.
Like, see, what sort of like? It
We
must
must
be a whole
give
different.
you credit. You know what I mean?
No,
always
no.
will.
Cheers. Well, actually, cheers. I'll be your first.
Yes,
cheers.
lads.
And what like for you as not only a producer and a DJ yourself, also as a teacher,
Yeah.
like how does that make you feel seeing guys like ourselves doing what we've done or Dara or Manny, you know?
Yeah, the people
It
that
must
you-
give you a whole different feeling though.
It does, man. Like I never wanted to be a teacher.
It's like it must be like your own wee kids growing up.
It is.
You know,
That's
really
it.
fast.
Listen, that's very fair point. That's exactly what I've explained to people. What it's like. It's like Dara, yourselves, Maddie, done work with me too. Like you come in and we like not barely knew each other, but we're friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Through that whole process, we became close.
Yeah.
So to see me and other people from my teachings and helpings. Now let me say this as well. You were always. I've said this to you, and you were always destined to be what you are.
Yeah.
I just helped Like my service that I always did, it was just to help people.
Yeah.
I'm not like everything to me or anything like that. It was just teaching, right? I was just fine tuning the process of learning to make music to make it easier for people.
Yeah.
But to see, even on the basis of that, to see people coming out of my studio and doing well, like it's like seeing your kids. Mate. It is. It makes me feel so proud because you fucking deserve it. Like, and anybody who got the long-term sessions with me was people that I believed in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And
So
you always say that as well. Do you know what I mean? You only teach people who you back. You know what I mean, and you feed who has got.
Yeah.
you can tell. You can
After a
tell.
couple of sessions, you would have been like, right, well,
You can tell. After a couple of sessions, yeah.
And when you're on your way to your destiny, you don't get there unless you meet the right people along the way.
100%.
Like yourself,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like, not even without the music, it was like, even some shows in Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
it was like, you always would have put our name forward because we had
course.
that good
Yeah,
friendship,
of
and
course,
like,
lads.
it's things outside of the tunes as
and
well
we
which
didn't
help.
have a social media platform.
This is what you need to
obviously
do,
did,
or-
you were
yeah.
maybe getting
We looked up to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Still do,
Yeah.
mate, still do.
And a question for you as well, like whenever you were teaching that, like obviously I don't know how many clients you'll be able to tell us how many clients you had at one point, but from when you were making a certain sound and like through this TikTok COVID era that changed your sound a bit as well.
Yeah.
With that, like how did you cope with like teaching that many clients and trying to change your sound, trying to develop with social media? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I've started that
That's a good question.
Yeah, great question. When I started to wean off, I only started doing tuition because of COVID. Like COVID, I think it was like 560 some days. I went out a gig, right? So my whole 2019, 2018, like me and Big Rusty doing the back-to-backs and all, we were fucking peaking, like, we were flat out gigging, right?
Telegraph. What was the first one was done?
Was that my should be done
Where was the first?
The 2019 first one. Was it 2019? Me, Rusty, Schneider, Scott Project, the first one.
Mark OV, was it as well?
No, that was the second one.
one.
But that was the first back-to-back, and then the second one we done the back-to-back as well. The Halloween one with Atkinson, the last few, and Taz.
Yeah.
But during that time, obviously,
anyway,
that was
back-to-back.
that was post-COVID. I only done tuition because, as I said, so long, like them 2 years, 2018, 2019, so busy, and amazing. My career was doing so well, constant releases, was loving it. And then COVID hit, and it just all got took away from me.
Yeah.
And then we were obviously rearing a child as well, right? So see, like, I'd switch, lads. From being so busy DJing, living my dream, just outstanding times, just to nothing.
Yeah.
Like my savings were big trouble, no gigs. So I started doing it. I've done a wee bit of tuition before that. Done a wee bit for people before that.
Yeah.
That's when I
Like for the
doubled.
likes of us.
I doubled down on it, and at one point I had like 28 clients over. It was
In
over
a
like,
week or
over a month, like over a month. So they'll have their weeks. So it was like between like 25, 28, all around the world, like. But it was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Suppose you're saying all around the world you would have been doing this, not just one
Yeah, I had to get
person.
up
It would have been Zooms.
I would have to get
Yeah,
up
you
with
would
Australian
do
clients.
different times.
Like Australian clients, I'd have to get up at like 7 in the morning and be in the studio for 7:30, working with them. And then I would do like 3 a day or 2 a day. So we'd do one, and then I would do maybe someone from America later on in the evening.
That's way.
I'm not sure, it was
Serious,
crazy. But like the thing that started to really impact me was when COVID obviously had let up and things were starting to get back to normal. I still had all these clients, and that was good though. We're all good, but it was solid. I didn't have enough time for myself to make my own music. It was starting to bleed into my own time. It was getting back to time was more valuable to me than money.
Yeah.
So I had to start winding people off. And then that's when obviously you were saying there when I started changing the sound, I had very little clients. So I had a lot more free time.
Yeah.
Time was more valuable to me.
Even we could see that, like your whole sound, like developing. Whenever you didn't do as much clients and you focused more on yourself, we
Yeah.
even see the real difference in that.
And
Mate.
we're saying as well, the music that you're putting out now
It's the best
year
we've
is
heard.
the best we've put out.
Cheers,
Well,
lads.
it's not even just saying that you're sitting here, mate. I mean that, like
And,
genuinely.
and even we've
Cheers.
seen that we're playing. Not that we didn't play any of your music, but we're playing a lot fucking more.
More of it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If you're taking up too much hours,
Yeah, what's you gonna say? The same about me?
you see that new one? You see that new one we're working on? You haven't fucking feel up about it.
I know, but that's what we made him say that. We were like, fuck, we're finding a lot of Shugz songs now in our playlist.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
we wouldn't have
it's-
before, like.
So fucking.
I believe the reason why, but is because what we spoke about there at the start.
Yeah.
It's now there's no limits to my creativity now. I feel like I could sit down and write anything I do, like,
And probably because you are.
and I'm enjoying it so much more as
Because you are
well.
putting yourself first as well. Instead of having so many clients on, you're actually being able to go,
Yeah.
like, this is what I want to do with my career and
Yeah.
me as an artist. This is
100%.
what I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's the
that's
most
what you
important
need to
thing.
do.
Yeah.
Stay true to what you want to do, like, and you see us all the time. Sorry to interrupt you.
You're alright, bro.
See people all the time saying this. It's like the most loosely used word, sell out, that word, like, right?
Yeah.
I hate that. It's almost like fans and certain people and certain fans and certain artists just want you to do what they want.
Yeah.
The thing that made you fall in love with you, they want you to continue to do that for 20 years of your career, right? Like, as an artist, creatively, any artist that is watching this and listening to this, you understand, like, you always need to be pushing yourself to save from, like, it's boredom, number one, and legitimate unhappiness. If you're just doing stuff for other people, any department of life, not just making music, if you're doing things for other people and not yourself, you're not going to be a happy person. It's as simple as that, like. Like, as I said, the people are way more open-minded now, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is just to always creatively test yourself. And now, what you're saying, my music is appreciated more now than ever. It's because I'm doing that more than ever.
Yeah.
I'm trying my absolute best to push myself creatively, learn as much different styles, trying to do things as uniquely as possible.
Yeah.
And obviously, you
It's
can see that.
paying off.
And just as you're reverting back to the 2017, 2018 era, before even COVID hit, you know, you as on a personal level had some massive struggles, even later on in your career, especially with the one went to Australia and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like stuff like that. This how you overcome.
I know, and
that.
A lot of people, just before we go on that, like a lot of people, they go through that as an artist and as a human being as well, and just keep going after that. Like, you know, it shows a lot. But yeah, as Dee was saying, it's
tough times, but like obviously using snow as well. One thing I always give credit to is like with Dan, the way that we were brought up. Get on with it, like you just have to get on with it, and like you'll go through life and you will get dealt terrible fucking hands. You just need to get on with it. And music was one thing that I kind of got like satisfaction and comfort in, because no matter how much outside my studio, times were difficult with a child being sick. Anytime I'm in the studio, it was almost like I forgot about it.
Is it like?
But it was like I was putting my emotions and putting all that into my music.
See, when a footballer they say they forget about all their problems.
It wasn't like that. It was like when I was in there, my mentality was like, I'm working here to get through this, obviously, but to supply and fucking provide for the situation, you know what I mean, all that. So it was like, it helped in a sense. But when I was in the studio, like it was like, I'll say therapy because that's a bit too deep, but when I was in the studio working, it definitely helped. It took the intensity off it.
So whenever you so just going back, you were touring in Australia whenever Amelia was born. Yeah. You were actually in Australia.
Shortly after,
But were you in Australia when she?
No. I can't. It was shortly after she was born. I think it was it April or May? It was a couple of months after she was born, and she had to get an operation. She was sick, and it was a big operation. It was like fucking 50-50, like, and the doctor was going to do it, and I wasn't for going, like, and Lee, my missus, said to me, you need to go. You need to go to get your head short. I'll be alright here.
That shows you the strength.
Mate, I mean, it sound like it's a cliche behind every good man is a great woman. Like, seriously, it is the fucking most. I wouldn't be where I am, the person I am, the man I am, the father I am, if it wasn't for her. Like, that's the truth, because she supported every single decision, every single hardship. She supported everything. Do you know what I mean? And you need that, like.
I know, mate.
You do, like, and it's a cliche behind every, as I said there.
Even Dixon today, just going through her own struggles, but she still said, you know, go and do the podcast or go and do this, and that just shows her strength. I mean,
it's a family dynamic.
Big up Smallwood if you're watching this.
Love you, darling.
And the drive that obviously she gives you, and for her to go and say about you going to Australia, like, it's a big thing. Like,
100%.
you had your firstborn.
Toughest time of her life.
You know what I mean? And she's telling you to go to the other side of the world. Like, it's not as if you had a tour in the UK and the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And
I think it was like a week and a half as well.
It's a lot, mate. It shows character as well.
Whenever you were going,
how did you feel?
How did you feel?
I didn't want to go. Obviously, because like it's the fatherly instinct. Do you know what I mean? Like I needed to be there.
And that buzz as well. Like, obviously, I can relate. Like, when you have a newborn child, the buzz you have around you, you don't want to leave that.
We didn't have that, but it wasn't like a buzz.
No, yes,
in a sense, because
this is different.
Yes, it wasn't like no. Fuck that sounds.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
It was more. We were surviving. We were like surviving, mate. It was like we were surviving each day to get through it. Like we stayed up in the hospital for weeks, like, on the chair beside the bed. We took turns. We just got our new house. We've been living it for
You've
months.
got your new house. You're just pushing through in your career at that stage.
I know.
Like just settling with your missus, the change just came along, and it's like life's going. Here you go, mate. Take it now.
Take it all now.
You know what I mean? It's like, do
think
you want to
the
deal with
chances-
this, mate, or you go?
I
you know?
looked it up before. I might be off here on numbers, but Judge Not a Trees, it was called. It was basically like our bowels were all twisted. But the severity of what she had, I think it was like 1 in 36,000. That was the
Right.
numbers. No, that was the numbers. That was the chance.
I get you.
And I was the one. So I used to lie in bed like, what the fuck have I done to deserve this? You know what I mean? I used to try and find like something to blame it on.
What's the universe telling me?
Oh, like,
yeah.
why me? Why me? Good person. All I've ever done is fucking been a good person, but like great family. Respect it, but you know what I mean? Why the fuck me? And I used to try and find like an avenue of to blame. There was something to blame, but mate, just bad luck.
The universe challenges the people who are able to deal with that.
Yeah, it gives you a card
to deal with. Yeah.
card to be dealt with, you know what I mean? And it's how you deal with it that grows you into the person that you now are.
100%.
You know?
That's it.
And I can one thing I actually said this to Dee the other day, just going off topic. One thing that always
I'm a wank.
No, I said
you know what nobody wants to do that. So let's get back.
we needed a wee bit of comedy on that. I was going to start crying there.
I know,
At the
mate. Honestly, fair play.
Big respect, mate.
No, that's
One thing that always sticks in my head, and it was after the child was born, so you've learned these lessons yourself. But we were
I know what you're going to say.
well, we deserve this here.
It's my birthday party.
While we are, we were a bagger, and it was like we want this, and we feel like we deserve this, and we're making this, and we're doing that on social media, and we're making this.
Yeah, at the time, but we were getting like 500,000 views on videos on Facebook, and we were going there saying, fuck, we're going to take over the world.
And we weren't getting any
Young
gigs.
naive.
We weren't getting any gigs, right? And we were weighing into you, and we were on the drink, and you just turned around and goes, you deserve fuck all that. But it was like, why are you expecting so much? He's like, you deserve.
Expect nothing.
You like deserve fuck all, and it just stuck in my
No,
head.
I
I was like,
Nah,
oh my god,
how
you're
to
so
elaborate, because that makes me sound like that dick.
No, but in the grand
If you
scheme,
treat your career
yes,
like you don't
went
deserve
on-
anything,
you went on a wee bit, you know what I mean?
if you treat your career like you
Yes.
don't deserve anything, then anything good that happens is a bonus. That's always been my mentality.
Yes.
Because like you just like we're very lucky to even be doing what we
Dude,
do.
we're blessed, mate.
Yes.
I personally believe we're the best jobs in the world. We get to travel, we get to play music, we get to make people dance, you get to drink if you want to, you get to see the world, and
Yeah.
like, mate,
It
you
is.
get paid for it. Like it's the best job in the world.
Couldn't agree more.
You know what I mean? And if you're
Wish it was
if
good
you're
at it.
passionate for it,
You're good at drinking, but
you've got that one. It's like trying to be successful in your career. Be good music, be a DJ, good social, drink a load of you've only got that one tick.
Here, why am I fucking on the podcast there, lads?
Talk about your to be awful.
Right, lads, appreciate when we compliments are nice one.
I mean, that's no
Yeah,
problem.
no,
at all, like.
it's stuff we wanted to talk about.
I know.
Yeah.
And you know, fair play.
I know.
Because me personally, to go through something like that, and it would be a lot.
Yeah, it is. Like, see, before the child was born, I was like, you know how fucking immature I am. You know what I mean? You know, I would get on my banter and all that. But I was a boy, like, I felt like a boy. And then that whole situation, I grew from that situation, like, I don't regret it. Obviously, what we went through was fucking hard, like,
Yeah,
felt like at the time, like, fuck, but I've grew as a person.
Yeah.
Going through something like
of
that.
course.
You grow,
And
you
you grow
grow
as
as a
a
man, you grow as a father, you
Yeah.
change, like, and
Yeah.
for the better. Same exact thing with COVID, like,
Yeah.
through something like that, they're so uncertain. The
You
hardships
grow-
that I
I
throw
feel
at
like you
you,
grow.
it's all about how you come out of them and you grow, mate.
You grow as an adult
Yeah.
in general when you have a child, but to go through those situations that you did at that time and to deal with all that.
Yeah.
And
it's
see just even
even
speaking
more
about
time
COVID
taken.
as well, mate, it's like that in that period was a whole different perspective than us for you because
Yeah.
you'd already started your career. You were full time.
5 years deep.
Do you know what I mean?
And
and it was
you
your
were
reliable
already in it.
income.
Yeah.
We had some
100%.
time jobs where we were going off fuck it, we make as much music as one here.
It was more of a
We're getting
benefit for
anything
you
from it.
almost because you had more free time.
Well, what we
Yeah.
said, I'll always remember us. We were only starting out, really. We were in it for about a year, but we weren't even really finding our feet. Like,
Yeah.
we were like, all these guys doing this full time, they're going to go, right, we're taking a break.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to
Yeah.
go for it.
And it
Yeah.
was. It
And
fucking was.
Both
Look at the many
people
DJs
that
and
jobs
that
just
mature-
started putting out the content,
Yeah.
the change, and just going, and then once we got out of COVID, had the biggest show of our
There you
lives.
go, mate.
End up-
Look at the many DJs during COVID that didn't take a foot off a pedal.
I
I
know.
wasn't one of them, like, because I
No,
knew.
you weren't. No.
I knew. Like, you fucking. This is. the mentality I always had was people are at home right now. Like, do you remember I done the streams? I done a stream in my kitchen, and there was 4,000 fucking people watching the stream. Me on the liquor with a set of taxi in the kitchen, and there was 4,000 people on Facebook watching it. Boom! I could not believe what was going on.
Biggest gig of your life.
Yeah, that's annoying. There was people doing that. Like,
I know.
fucking
Charge
you can't do it. Like,
listen, back to the point. Listen, back to the point. Everybody was at home at that time. Nobody had anywhere to go out. Nobody had no pubs to go to, no clubs. So see, by doing them live streams and dripping out your music and giving it to people, it was giving people excitement. So like no better time I felt the up until my whole career, 9 years pretty much, was a better time to be promoting yourself than during COVID. Because everybody was on their phones all the time. Everybody was needing new music. Everybody was needing something to look forward to. And then we streams every week. Like, we used to do some scary numbers, mate.
Wow.
In the kitchen, like, we set a decks and fucking the light on.
I can
And a bottle of liquor.
That was you.
Streams were elite.
That used to do the pot.
Aye,
It was
Like,
yeah, I watched one of them. Was it the Friday night remixes one or something? I think we watched it about 40 weekends in a row.
That's what also generated the set the scene stuff.
Ah,
in
yes, that's
Belfast
right.
as well,
Aye,
whenever
we've
we
done a
were
couple of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
done a couple of your
yeah,
blue and stuff.
that was like
That was a
We weren't
reason, by the way, I actually forgot.
we weren't doing much. Like obviously we were making
That was a
music,
big
but we
gig for us, wasn't
weren't doing that.
Man, that was a
Like,
big
doing
gig
that
for us
set
doing
the
set the
scene.
scene.
Like for then it was like and being able to play our music that we were making over
Yeah.
lockdown, it was like fuck, we can actually play it here and like people's gonna hear it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because we didn't like we were doing wee live streams, but the word is like weren't like with the camera and stuff. There were
Yeah.
mixes. You know what I mean?
They were full professionally shot. Like
Yeah.
Novak,
And we
Shugz,
were-
Novak, you don't
we were
great job.
loved it
Like,
because we were
channels
able to actually broadcast our new music here. We've been working on it over COVID.
Yeah.
It's class.
I know.
what ones did you do? What's
We've done
the
the Mixing Day in Temple,
Aye,
and
done
then,
that one.
and Belfast
Castle, yeah.
Using Billy on the castle.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right. I was meant to do that one. Was over. I think it might have come up.
Standard.
Shock.
The blue over again. Oh, mate, I've got you on here for a minute. I'm fucking down.
He cares. He cares.
What have you got coming up? Ain't you go showways?
Shows. Yeah, fucking Killer Idols is next week. Anybody, this will be well after it, won't it? Hope you have a good time. But yes, Killer Idols is next week, and then I've got one the week after in Newcastle, Ministry of Bounce, which should be good. Mania and Van Dahl. I've done a couple of bounce events. They
Done-
couple of ones.
We done, the closest we've got was the one we done in Southport.
Aye.
Remember the one we done in Manchester was massive.
Yeah,
they're
bowlers.
We done the
Aye.
BITD one in
Yes,
Manchester.
yes.
Unbelievable.
Mate,
And
we
that
walked
bowlers.
in. We walked in the S. We walked in the
You
S.
weren't
Big
expecting
Pen,
it,
right?
Mate, they see
Mate, I've never seen
them
it.
events are mental. They're mental.
Mate,
Where
we
was
walked
you?
in. We were
Yeah.
walked in the first room. And that was a big, massive visual screen. Must have been a couple of
He
thousand.
brilliant. The fella
Brilliant.
goes,
That must be us, sir. Here, got
That's a
that's
second.
a second room.
he says, "What I take
Walked
it
in the
in
S.
Bowlers is massive, like.
Whoa!
Aye.
I was actually a wee bit nervous.
seen the hang of
Like,
it.
it was massive.
I think it was because we were expecting high. It wasn't
Aye.
like, whoa, what the fuck?
See the crowds at them events. I've done a couple of Clubland events. They're fucking the ticket like.
We're
See
doing
the
a couple
energy,
of-
mate. Right, the energy. It's just like you can't not have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all know you've done shows before where you're standing behind the decks and the crowds either flat or the numbers aren't great, and it's fucking shit. But see these events, like
The
they're
alls
always
are
just, mate. They're just,
dancing.
it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun,
Uh-huh.
and they're all out for a good fucking time, mate.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it. That's the one after the week.
We're
after.
doing a couple of club land events this year. We're
Should
doing
be
one
good.
in Ibiza.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
We're doing one
July, isn't it?
in October. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's been announced yet. It has, hasn't it?
The
No, it hasn't.
Clubland one.
In October, it has.
The Blackpool one. I think it may have been.
But if it hasn't, we're announced it.
I don't know. I think it was
Frank, I'm coming.
story or something came through, I think.
Aye.
But it wasn't like announced on a post, but
Yeah.
they put a story on
Yeah.
very sure. But with that, and then what else are we doing? The guy, we're doing Malta the guy.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
We don't-
I'm not seeing you, but
Remember how sick you were last year at it?
In Malta?
Malta.
I was to see it. Sure,
I
you
know.
sure went out
You
for
were
food.
sick blood in the ring, you
Me
come.
and you were out for food. You'd be sick that many times. You don't even
No,
know.
seriously.
You were sick in Ireland.
You were just ill, mate.
Me and you and
You went for the
Sean
Indian?
Bobby went to an Indian.
Was it sick, like sick? Like,
Oh, what?
fucking
Yeah,
hell,
you were
like,
just-
Stomach
Nah.
bad, mate. My stomach was ruptured too.
I think you were sick and your stomach actually came out. You pushed it.
He went, fuck, that's my stomach. Can that hack go?
bad. Like, but that was lethal last year. That was one of them shows we all.
Oh, yes, I remember. I went down with you. Yes, I remember that.
It was one of them gigs, but it was all our first time doing it, and we all went and we didn't know what the fuck to expect. It was just brilliant.
What day are you doing?
I'm doing Thursday, back to back Rusty, which is going to be fucking class.
Is that Malta?
Yes, in Malta. We haven't done one in years. We're buzzing for it. Like, just fucking the dynamic will be a wee bit different, I think, because obviously when we were doing the last ones, yes, when we were doing the last ones, we were completely aligned with the music that we were making. We've done all the clubs and all together.
Yeah.
But Rusty's went like, still makes sense, no? He's trying to be a wee bit harder. And I've went the other way.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
fucking, we're going to have to maybe come up with fucking, I don't know, a playlist that suits us both. But I'm looking forward to that. I love playing with a big man. Like, always really fun.
I'll be
back
good.
Yeah, we're there from the Thursday, so.
Oh, you're there?
I
thought you were
on Thursday the 8th.
Thursday.
Well, Thursday I'm doing
Thursday,
then Friday I'm doing my own now, and then back in Sarek.
Tickets. Well, we'll just hit the liquor in Dublin.
We're there for a holiday as well.
Think about it myself.
You're on already?
No, you're not new.
It's maybe going
What?
But no, I'm looking forward to that back to back. That was one of them things as well, even when we were going clubbing, whenever we were starting.
You told me
looking
to
up
see me.
going, fuck yeah, I want to be in.
No,
Be guys up there, like.
Even like S13 and all, and like.
I absolutely
We done that Scat Project tune.
Features now.
We're getting it past.
We were standing there as punters, but going like, this is insane. This is what we want to do. Like, that was really, we were only 17, 18 as well.
I know.
So
young pups, like.
That's still one of my favourite gigs ever. Like, fucking, that was mental. See,
So
a wee bit of like believe in fate. Right, we've told this story to a few people.
Believe fate,
But we'll hear us here, right? So fucking see, obviously my first residency, me and Billy go way back to here. Quest used to be a club called Browns on the Bridge Road. Me and Billy used to play as residents and play in it all the time. Billy Gillies I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Way back in what year? I would have been 20, 21, so 15 years ago. We used to play in there, and the build up to the S13 gig was like fucking my biggest show for 5,000 people, biggest show in Belfast. Like not nervous, but fucking can't wait for us. And done that much preparation that week. I was like, right, I'm ready for this. See the day of the show, I woke up and checked with Time Hop on Facebook.
Yeah.
And checked with Time Hop. Now, Boucher Road was where it was in the B&Q warehouse. Quest was across the road.
Yeah.
Literally, when you come out the gates,
Yeah.
Quest
I
was right
remember
there.
it was. Never been to it.
So see on Time Hop, on the day of the gig, I put a status up 8 years before, 7 years before, playing my first gig night in Quest, hope a few people come, and 7 years later I'm playing 5,000 across the street. The same day, mate. What the fuck is the chances like? The same day. Mate, see that when I seen it, the goosebumps, I was like, holy fuck, is this supposed to be happening? Like,
yeah,
and
like
then
it's almost
went,
like the universe telling you,
mate.
you're here for a
Mate,
reason. You know, it's like, enjoy it.
First gig
Yeah,
across the street
on
with
that
40
day-
people, and then fucking 7 years
I
later,
know that day of the
5K. Mental.
S13 gig as well. What's the chances of you looking at your time?
I know.
It's almost as if like
Aye.
you've stuck to this for 7 years. Here's your reward, know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's reminding you.
Yeah.
Which is
So we
class.
from above.
Crazy.
Love
We're
that.
out feeling like,
I
what
love
was?
that.
We're out
That's
feeling,
real.
but here, what a gig. Fuck me, what a gig that was.
Yes, was. It was on there.
I
Did
never
you ever
forget
do
that roar, mate. They done the like Jill, like production. It was like intros, like a big robot voice, like ASOT.
Yeah.
Like state of trance. It was doing like intros, and it said like this number 613 beep 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 Shugz, and you'd see a roar like when I was standing, my whole body was like that, and just hit the play button, mate, and fucking every drop. Like me and Matty Ralph were talking about this. Sorry to go off topic a wee bit.
No fucking.
Recently. See the crowds in comparison, not discrediting crowds now, right? Different generation, but see back then, mate, 2015, 2019, see every tune you played, like, it was just big rock, like a Kelly Riddle's, the first Kelly Riddle, all we done, like, see the atmosphere, the many videos you see, there's a page on TikTok, I can't remember what it's called, but it shares those old videos from Shane and all,
Yeah.
and there was one the other week, I seen it down at Salter, and mate, you want to see it, it's in Mandela Hall. And you want to see the atmosphere, like no phones, no phones, not to get down that or fucking route, but people on top of shoulders with their tops and all off. You just don't see that anymore, like, do you know what I mean?
And this is
What do you say? What like obviously social media has been.
It's just there.
I feel like as well.
What's changed
It's
really?
them.
I feel like as well, people don't have not many people have the confidence to actually dance on the dance floor.
Yeah, yes.
Where it's almost as if too many people are videoing, where they don't want to actually express how they're feeling and like go, I could make a fucking idiot out of myself here.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
could be videoing me here and I could go viral on TikTok and then
See, like not
I'll
only
put them
is-
off actually
yeah.
going clubbing what they love doing.
Not only is videoing and standing there giving no atmosphere has been a knock-on effect, everyone's real with anxiety as well because of social media.
And,
Yeah,
and
that's why.
And because of lockdown as well, probably as well.
Yeah.
People's social skills were Do you know what I mean?
The whole generation of clubbers completely was wiped through COVID. Like,
Yeah.
see everyone that was coming out after COVID, they were all kids who, like 15, 16, coming of 18. It was all new to them. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's what. And then social media, definitely social media. Like social media and that there, people are more any sort of. I'm like a boomer sitting here, fuck's sake, talking about this. But if I never go on the phone on a night out, right, anything like that, if there's a big moment at the dance floor, I go fucking nuts. I get the choke out, right, dance like fuck. But most people these days, kids, a big moment, they do that.
Need to capture
it. Instagram. And if the DJ's having like a big moment, and then you see all them phones, it does kill the buzz a wee bit, like. But listen, you have to understand, generations change.
See when we're playing, like, don't get us wrong, see when we're playing and like we drop a new tune or it's like, for example, when we released Caroline and we seen other people put their phones out to record it, like we got a buzz of it. Like,
I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I'm not saying it's a negative thing.
But
it's just different.
I feel like in certain places as well, see, especially like the likes of Ibiza, like it's all, I'm paying all this money to go on holiday, I'm getting all these outfits and going with my mates, I want to video it all to capture the moment, and I get that, like, but it's just,
I agree. I agree with 100%.
I feel like there's no right and wrong either.
No, you're right. Listen,
like,
it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a different generation, lads. It's a different generation. This is what people do now, right? You can't sit there and say slobber about it, but
no.
It is definitely like that Carney event that he done, that no phones event.
Yeah.
I went to it, purposely went on the dance floor just to see. Like, how many times have we been on the fucking telly dance floor? Loads of times to see, like, even the Shane nights. Ibrahim, we've been numerous times. Your night, Stars nights, I've always been there on the dance floor.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to Kearney's one because it was the no phones to see if it was different. And it felt completely different, lads, on the dance floor. Like, I did.
I want to experience
it. It felt like the way it was, the Shane events and the fucking events I used to go to. Like years ago, 2017, 18, it felt like one of those. Because it wasn't I. And Nick Brian would put on older fan base anyway. I would say it myself a lot as well. What's happened? Is that meant to be a surprise?
Yeah.
You've got to pop up the camera behind me, for fuck's sake.
But as you were saying, the no phones, we want to.
What's happening here?
Now you know you're about to get grilled. So we just wanted to. We've got about 13 minutes left.
Yeah.
How long did I get Mark?
Yeah. Well, what did you end this? Hey, are you bro?
Right, so
for anyone who doesn't know,
first, for anyone that go ahead, Kurt, you tell
this
first.
is Shugz' brother, Hugh.
Yes.
Which another guy we need to speak about when things happen on people. But he's here today because we've got a lot of funny stories.
So, is there any truth in this?
What?
Straight in.
Frank the Yank.
Frank the Yank?
Frank the Yank. Who's up your eyes to call you?
So I went to America. Oh, this is embarrassing. I opened up for me. I went to America for the school, right? You do a school trip, right? Did you ever have this in your school when you were kids? Like, it wasn't even for unprivileged families, sure it wasn't. It was just like a scheme they done.
It was just for working class families.
You go to working class families, the school would reach out to fucking American families who would want to adopt kids for like 6 weeks of the summer. And you would go away, they'd fly you, were paid for everything. And then you'd stay with them, right? Now, let me just tell you, it was 11. So, before you judge, that's no excuse. I was fucking 11, right?
That's no excuse.
So, right, I was over for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of staying with Lee's country. And, like, I'm sure.
Washington, wasn't it?
No, Washington, D.C. I staying with him,
What
right?
did you call him?
Angela and Gerald, right? And I actually adopted a fucking American accent. You know, and I don't mean like fucking what do you call the golfer Graham thing?
McDowell.
Not him, not like a wee bit myself. It was full on yank. Like,
What happened that day he rung you?
I kicked your butt.
No, so
you
he rang home, right? We were sitting. I was around 13. Me, my mum, and dad sitting eating our dinner on a Monday night or something. My mum and dad's watching Coronation Street. Phone rings, it's him. My dad's speaking to him, my mum's speaking to him. My dad's like, I can't take that brown headset. Well, bro, you've been there about 2.5 weeks. Well, bro, what's happening? Hey, man, how you doing? And I was like, what? That's me. Is that you, Christopher? He said, yeah, man, it's me. And that's me. What way are you getting on here? He said, fuck up, man. Rock your butt. 2.5 weeks.
Listen.
That's going to be a podcast caption. I'll kick your butt.
It wasn't even polite. It wasn't even put on. It was like a fucking completely changed. My fucking like,
You were London.
mate, I
Well,
swear to
put on
God.
you were London.
Then I was from that, the dance, like,
I can't talk
about
about fucking Egypt.
What about Frankie? I'm not talking to him. He's Frankie.
Unbelievable.
So, what was it like, mate, growing up with an annoying little brother?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that was hard.
It was just- See, when he was younger, he was a full geek. Like,
Still is, mate, the
computer. That's why.
I sit in front of a computer 7 hours a day.
That's obviously why you took the production and all
Yeah.
so well. With Steve, when we were younger, and then he just sat in his room and just played fucking game, just gamed all day long, morning, noon, and night. Like, that's why.
It wasn't that bad, like, fuck's sake.
What were made every console under the sun you had for fuck's
I
sake.
know, but I'm still hard. It's still hard. He's talking like it was a hermit. It's still without him.
Here,
It's fucking.
she's just staying on America. What was that shirt you came home with?
Oh, why? The Dragon Ball Z. Fucking here.
Here, see in the podcast.
Here.
In the podcast, get a Dragon Ball G t-shirt.
Here.
Shirt up.
I'm still got it. And it's fucking here. And it's fucking cracker too.
You're like skate.
Collector's edition.
Just even being mates, these 2 were years, we've been friends for a long time, and see the stories these two have of their childhood and big brother, wee brother. One that always rung a bell for me was whenever Hugh always used to be the last one goes to bed,
Aye.
but whenever the wee brother was downstairs, he would have put Babe Station on the TV at the last time.
That's all. Do you want a beer, mate?
So my brother, this cunt here, right? He was always bigger. He was bigger. He could knock my cunt in, hold me down, slap me about at will, right? The enemy used to be like the enemy, right? So the only way that I could win was to use my head. So there was numerous things he used to do. So he would be last to bed at night, and I would stay awake deliberately and wait until he went to bed. And I see when he went up and we got into bed, I'd sneak downstairs and I'd put television action on the cable, right? So my ma would get up and walk away. Listen, my dad get up in the morning and get us ready for school or whatever, right? She'd turn the TV on and the porn channel would be on, right? And he'd come down, who was last to bed last night? And then he'd say, me, why? I'm watching that porn. And then, no, I'd be sitting like that, with a towel and toast. Shit.
Oh, I just speak about the dope pepper. Talk about that. So growing up, I was a bit of a puffer from the brown stuff, you know, the soap bar stuff. Used to keep it in the top drawer in the bedroom. Right, underneath the socks and the boxers and all, like properly hid. Used to come in every hour and night. There used to be, oh, that's definitely getting smaller. Something wrong with it. He'd been knitting my gear. The whole teenage life.
What were you doing? Were you like sliced out?
No. So what I used to do, listen, so I'll tell you.
You must have cut off.
So what I used to do, used to be fucking, please don't call this door, like, but there was loads of half inches, right? So what I'd do is I'd take them down and put them in the microwave. Now, you can't just chip a bit off one, because then one will look smaller than the other, so I used to take 4 of them down and whack off a bit of all 4. Now, only a wee bit, just a wee bit, put it in the microwave.
That's right.
Minute and a half.
Bastard, you don't even slice one.
You put it in, right, so you cut a wee bit off, and that would get me fucking a couple of joints for me to sort out myself, me and my mates. But there was one time me and Reese, my mate, it was in the kitchen, we were already stoned to fuck, and we went in and we put it in the microwave and we started cracking jokes. Now you just put and turn the microwave on, whip it up to 2 minutes, but you only do like 15 seconds and then turn it. But we forgot that the microwave was on, and we were standing telling jokes, right, for 2 minutes. So see, after 2 minutes, here's us, looked at each other. Now see when I pulled the microwave, see when I pulled the microwave open and grabbed it, it just went like dust. Right, so what I done, I had to take it, I had to do it, and I put like a skin around it, right, and fucking shaped it like back into the kind of a shape of a half inch. You want to right, listen. And I put it back in his drawer, and I was like, the last one is me, he's going to find out here, he's going to knock my cunt in, I'm ready. So I was just sitting downstairs, listen, I was ready. The days after, I was ready for him coming home, finding it, listen, I was ready for him coming home, finding it, knock my cunt in. But there was a fella called to the door, right? Knocked the door as a brother in, and I knew what he was there for. His father was a bit of an idiot. And no names mentioned that. But he was obviously here. He was obviously here to get. Listen. He was obviously here to get a bit off him, right? But the only one that was left was that fucking scrapper. He brought it down and gave it to your man. He paid it for it. No, completely off.
Your man said to me a couple of days
Oh,
ago,
yes, so
that one was a bit on the Last one, you know how it is. I'm not clue.
You're
Last
not
night,
How funny is that? I never told you that story before.
brilliant, mate.
Oh my god, and I didn't know you shipped it on.
Mate, here, tell you what,
What's up, mate?
mate, it made me, if you'd have like, I swear to God, I thought it was about, I could have not. And he gave it to your man, he paid him for it, get off of it.
It's just wee brother hang.
That was the only way I could get back at him. Like, there was the other one used to, like, members to put like salt in your tea and all. And used to rub his toothbrush and soap, right? I used to rub it like a bar of soap at the toilet, right? And I used to rub the toothbrush.
Fucking tortured me.
And the soap, right? Oh, sure, give me that one. Right? No, my man used to say, beat the fuck out of him, or I get your dad to beat the fuck out of you to him. No, if I was a cunt, like my man, when I hit me a slap, you'd be laughing at your man. And she'd just go, you. I'd be like that. But listen, I used to rub his fucking, I'll never forget this one. It was a Sunday, I rubbed his toothbrush in a bit of soap, right? And it was a Sunday morning, he was hungover. My man used to clean the house, squeaky clean, like once a week, and it would be like a Sunday or a Monday. And he was having brushed his teeth in the bathroom, and just by chance I was walking downstairs past the bathroom, and he was cranking up, my fucking toothbrush tastes like soap again. Man, you must have dropped it in the soapy water. If she was, but I didn't remember, but I'm sorry. Anyway,
Not remember, but I'm sorry.
it was the only way I could get back.
What was it, chili? Was there a chili powder?
I and like sausage rolls used to do that.
No, the more crackers well were sitting eating our dinner one Christmas Day all at the table, and it was a big pot. It was gravy or something.
I knocked it.
And it's me knocked it like it'd be a fiver or a tenner or something. And he's like, "Oh, you will, man." I said, "Oh, well, of course I will." And all knocked it. Yep. He's back again. About 3 litres of gravy.
Yeah, but see here,
a full gravy boat.
Give me a
Full gravy boat.
Gravy boat fell down.
I sunk a gravy boat.
I was like, drunk the whole thing. Here's me. Here he was. Good luck.
and the horse table wasn't
He took advantage of me. Young, naive, mate. He took advantage of me.
You were going to do it for a 5 or a 10, are you?
No, it was the same Christmas as well. I'd been out Christmas Eve with one of our mates, Fergie. Remember, been out all night and whatnot, and come in the next morning, hadn't slept, absolutely tired, sitting down at
Strictly
the
off
Christmas
the record.
table. He's going, why aren't you eating your dinner, mate?
No,
Man, what's he not eating that?
Listen.
What's he doing that?
Listen.
I snuck in the next this morning. He said,
Was he challenging you?
he said, why's he not eating that? Man, he's not eating
Listen, he was under the influence of ecstasy. So, you know what it's like?
Oh, you can't eat for a day.
He couldn't barely breathe out being sick. And he was sitting at the dinner table, like fucking like, cooking at it. What's wrong with that? Like a cooking no? Then he goes, yeah, same roasties are fucking good. No cheer on his face. And he was like,
You get all dripping down you.
It was just, it was,
I think that was ties off rightly.
good shit.
high note.
I was good. You sneaky bastard. Get him in.
Brother, expecting unexpected.
I know. I should have smelled their rat, like.
Good crack here. Thank you, lads.
Yes.
Here's the boys.
And thank you
He's a
for
house for
coming,
he doesn't
boys.
take a beer.
Yes. Love you. Thanks for having me on.